How does a data center relocation company close more deals? How can a data center relocation company close more deals? So there's two ways to approach this. If I take the question literally, it sounds like you have a lot of opportunities sitting on your deals board and they are not closing. So you're doing well with lead generation. You have a good tight criteria that forces your account executives, sales development reps, probably your account executives in most cases, to have a forecasted close date and a forecasted deal size before they can put it up into the pipeline on the deals board. And because of that, they put it, and then there you define the stages that the prospect needs to go through based on action on the prospect side that determine where they are in terms of deal stages within opportunity. So, like at a high level, you're saying you want to close more deals. So, I'm going to go with the idea here that because you want to close more deals, that all of these deals are sitting in the opportunity lifecycle stage in your CRM. And it's just a matter that some of them are at earlier deal stages than others. And if that's the case, we need to understand specifically where these deals are getting stuck, because at some point for them to get into the opportunity stage, a member of your sales team reviewed that lead and sales accepted it. SAL, sales accepted lead, sales qualified lead, whatever you want to call it. And a member of your sales team met with that person and determined that there is an opportunity and it could have a forecasted deal size of this, and it could have a forecasted close date of that. So all of that is in place. And then all of a sudden, these are not advancing. Why are they not advancing? So, how's the sales process? Are the stages that this deal would go through? Have you seen, in other words, is your company do you have product market fit for starters? In other words, you know who exactly your ideal clients are, what products and services they purchase from your company related to relocation, at what price points, at what deal sizes, how often, or on a recurring basis. This is probably how often. Most relocation companies aren't selling anything that's recurring revenue. So it's a certain deal size. And then with that, you'll also know almost certainly who's typically on the decision committee and how long the sales cycle length is. And you'll also have profit margin in mind. So in other words, you know not only the ideal client profile, you know the buyer personas that are involved, and you know the unit economics. That's product market fit. Go to market fit means an investor or board member comes along and says, I'm going to pour another couple $1,000,000, another couple £1,000,000 into growth for this particular month, for this particular quarter, euros, whatever your local currency is. And if I give you all of this additional budget, I'm highly confident that as the sales directors, the sales leaders, the VP of sales, whoever it is, are growing the teams and growing the headcount, that the wheels aren't going to fall off, that we're going to continue to close. We're going to continue to have success at various metrics, advancing from one stage of the deals to another. So in order for you to have high confidence about what's working and what's not working, there's a lot of stages that your company needs to go through, from getting to product market fit to getting to go to market fit, and then having a consistent hiring process, a consistent onboarding process, having a consistent coaching process. Unlike certain sectors of digital infrastructure and data centers, I haven't seen companies in relocation have a lot of success with a completely self-propelled buyer's journey. In other words, there's IaaS companies, infrastructure as a service companies, that are kind of blurring the line between cloud hosting, private hosting, hybrid hosting, and co-location, that are successful, at least on the SMB side, of having completely self-driven signups where a purchase looks a lot more like e-commerce. I don't see that happening currently or anytime in the near future with relocation. There's still way too much that goes into large data center moves, where your account manager is taking on the role of a consultant and advisor and helping to kind of spec out the move and price out the move and timetable, and working with all the stakeholders that are involved. So getting clarity among the stages that your average deal goes through and making sure that you're putting a consistent kind of lead through that is incredibly important. That's all the stuff around product market fit and go to market fit. In terms of closing more deals, I think one of the things that universally helps companies across the ecosystem is getting your prospects to hear from your best clients. So this is your case studies, your testimonials. This is having an event, whether it's in person or virtual, where your prospects get to meet your super happy clients. And in the data center industry, I see people doing this really well with panel-based webinars, where they interview one or more happy clients and they invite their prospects to understand how their happy clients went through the process of planning a move and doing a move, and post-mortem what they learned about what worked well and what they didn't. And in the course of that conversation, it almost always comes up that they end up saying very kind things about your company. Obviously, if they're not a big fan of your company, they shouldn't be invited to be on the panel of your webinar. The offline version of this that I see working exceptionally well in the digital infrastructure data center space, including companies that do moves, that do relocation and commissioning and decommissioning, kind of the first cousins in all of this, is inviting a combination of prospects and clients to an event. And it could be an educational event where you're actually hearing from them, very similar to what I was just outlining with the webinar, or it could be a fun event. Not that you're not having fun at your educational events, but it could be like taking, let's say you rent out a suite at a baseball stadium or a football stadium or a basketball arena or something like that. And you have 20 seats, and of those 20 seats, 2 or 3 are your team members. You invite 2 or 3 clients that love you, and the rest are all prospects. And you just let the night happen organically. And in the course of your prospects getting to meet your clients and mingling, it will come up how much they love working with your company and how much you save their butt by having this great, super smooth relocation move, and how they'd be crazy to look anywhere else. Some people have also done really well having like roundtable dinners where they invite, again, the same thing. It's the private room in a fancy restaurant or hotel or something like that. You take 20 people out, 2 or 3 people are from your team, 2 or 3 are clients, and the rest are prospects. And you just you go around the table, everyone talk about what they're working on, what their biggest takeaway was, what their biggest challenges, whatever. And you just kind of let the mingling happen organically. And again, your best clients end up becoming the thing that gets your deals unstuck. Because things that come out of the mouth of your sales team are viewed skeptically. Things that come out of the mouths of your clients are viewed much less skeptically and viewed as a lot more trusted. So those are some of the key things that I would think about to help you close more deals, is more actively courting and pollinating this social proof between your clients and your prospects, getting more clarity on your deal stages, assuming that your company already has product market fit and go to market fit. By the way, if you have channel partners who, in the context of a data center relocation company, could be from a lot of different places within the digital ecosystem. As I mentioned a few moments ago, data center commissioning and decommissioning companies, especially decommissioning companies, are heavily involved in what happens to equipment afterwards. IT asset and disposition companies, also kind of like the first cousin of data center relocation companies. So if you're looking to build like formal and informal kind of partnerships, channel partnerships, referral program, co-marketing, for sure those companies can be hugely helpful. Anyone having to do with construction or real estate can also be a great source of referrals. Data center construction, data center real estate, DCRE, or investment on the capital side, like private equity, venture capital, can all be great sources of referrals for a data center operator or end user that needs help with a data center relocation. And these could be formal referral programs. It could be a podcast, an interview-based podcast or something like that, where you look for an excuse to just build relationships and share best practices with each other and your collective audiences. There's a lot of different ways to approach this, but at the end of the day, get clarity around the deal stages. Think about how to cross-pollinate the social proof, and think about the adjacent kinds of businesses that also that also talk with people on a regular basis, who are leading indicators of a data center relocation need coming up in the very near future.